Welcome to the CalPAD Student Program Data Population Training. At the end of this course, you should be able to identify the programs collected during the different submission periods throughout the academic year. You should also be able to determine the eligibility criteria for each of the student programs that you are reporting. You should also be able to confidently submit the student program records to CalPADS either through online maintenance and batch upload. And you should also be able to resolve any submission errors that you will encounter while adding the records manually in CalPADS or through batch file upload. And you should also be able to know where to find available resources that will help you resolve these issues. Here's the agenda for this training. We will discuss the following: an overview of the submission. We will also discuss the details of the business rules related to student program reporting, as well as spend some time on how data is reported in CalPADS. And lastly, we will discuss the submission error validations and how to resolve the more common errors before we wrap up the session. First, we will start with some general information related to student programs and then introduce key concepts related to the data collected. The student program information and the submission of the student program record in CalPADS is essential and to create required state and federal reports for use in funding calculations, and also to determine the inclusion in student subgroups for state and federal accountability measures. The program is submitted through the student program file, which is used to submit program eligibility and participation information. The file is part of the Fall 1 and End of Year 2 certification and submission, and can also be submitted as frequently as necessary to maintain accurate student records in CalPADS. So the SPRG file is just a part of a bigger set of data that represents the student profile. As you can see in this diagram, there are more components that comprises the student profile. Of course, you have your SPRG, and then you have your student enrollment record, which is the SENR, which includes the student's enrollment in your LEA and establishes ownership of the student. You also have the SINF record, which includes the student's demographic information as well as student address. And then you have your SILA record, which reflects the student's English language acquisition status. And for students with disability, you also have the SPED record and the SSRV or student special ed services record. The SPRG, SCNR, SINF, and SILA are extracted through your school information system and uploaded to CalPADS. And for the SPED and SSRV, these files are coming from your local SED system or special ed system and is pushed to CalPADS through API. To successfully report student program data in CalPADS, users need to have the proper roles assigned. For data population, these are the minimum roles you need to submit data effectively. First is the student search, to allow users to search for students using the SSID or student demographic information. Next are the SENR edit, SPRG edit, and free and reduced price meal edit roles to allow users to submit and maintain student enrollment, program and lunch records through batch or online maintenance. And then SENR edit view, SPRG view, and free and reduced price meal view roles to allow users to see a student's enrollment, program, and lunch history in the student details page. Users must also have the following report roles, the Fall 1 reports, end of year 2 reports, and end of year 3 report roles. For additional description and functionality of each of these roles, please refer to the CalPADS User Manual User Roles page. Also, LEAs should also be aware that there are excellent reference documents available to download for guidance on different aspects of CalPADS reporting. You can access the CalPADS User Manual, the CalPADS code sets, the file specifications form, the error list, the data guide, and the valid code combinations documents. So here's a reporting matrix which lists the school types and grade levels expected to report program records in CalPADS. So most of the school types may report SPRG records to CalPADS, except for ROP and ROC schools since they don't have access to the system. For the grade levels, only preschoolers and adult education should not be reported within SPRG record in CalPADS. All other grade level types from kindergarten and 12th grade are expected to be reported. And for infant and toddlers, you may report homeless records for these students. Here is a legend that you could refer to